Let's look back. Talk about your last 5 years prior to you playing in these past couple of weeks. What has this past 5 years been like for you here at UH?
Well, it's been a long 5 years. First of all, it's felt like a really long time. I've enjoyed every second of it. The first 2 or 3 years have been a lot different. My first year I came in here with the sole intention, and not saying like I really wanted to, but I thought I was under the impression that I was going to redshirt my freshman year. So I was like in practice as a redshirt guy, in season I thought I was a redshirt guy, and all that changed my first game in San Diego when for some reason we had to take Steve Hunt out of the game, but it was like 13-7 in the fifth set. We were gonna lose, and they put me in. And I was like, I asked coach like, wait, you really want me? Like I asked him, but like usually you don't second guess the coach. I'm like, I'm gonna go in, and yeah, there goes my redshirt year. So that changed everything. So that took a redshirt year away from me, and that was actually one of the years I played the most on the team. Believe it or not, was my freshman year. And also we had Josh and Jonas. It was a very good year. But after that, we had some ups and downs. We had my sophomore year was a rebuilding year for us, and wasn't as much fun as my first year or this year. And yeah, throughout the process, I think after that first 2 years, I realized what I really wanted. I really wanted to contribute to this team, and I was frustrated. Had a lot of success in my career in just athletics, not only volleyball, and I'm itching for a chance to get an opportunity, and so I really worked hard. I took a redshirt year my junior year, and just really worked hard to get my body in shape. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about that redshirt year in 2013,
Yeah.
between your sophomore and junior year.
Yeah.
What did you use that year for? Did you anticipate on redshirting? What
Right.
made you decide you wanted to redshirt that year? Like, what was that year like?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, actually, it was more just strictly injuries. Over summer before my junior year, which was 2013, there was this USA Hawaii volleyball team that Charlie Wade sent to Japan to play against other national teams as Japan, China, Thailand, I believe. Yeah, and so he invited me. He wanted me to come, and obviously jumped on that opportunity. It was a great opportunity to play high-level volleyball, and I was honored to get the nod. But over there, I actually tore my left hamstring, and that was in the summer before my junior year, and it never quite healed properly, and it sent me like a lot of pains through my back, and it wasn't just my leg. It like really sent problems everywhere. And so I was getting around the season, and I didn't feel like myself. I was hurting every day. I wasn't jumping as high, wasn't hitting as hard. Everything kind of deteriorated. I was like, wow, is this what it's like to get old? I was really taken aback. But that was my only motivation. I mean, I would have preferred to graduate in 4 years, save some money, get out in the workforce, or do something else in my life. But it was a great opportunity for me to heal my body, because I really wouldn't have helped that much that year with how I felt physically. And it was a great year to just rehab, if you will, because I was lost some weight, and yeah, it was a pivotal for me.
Did you ever once consider during that time that, all right, I'm done? Was that ever a thought that came through your mind during that time when you're not playing well, you're injured, all this stuff happening?
Honestly, that was probably my I wouldn't say darkest moment, but it was my yeah, it was my worst moment in my volleyball career, or in my life. I mean, everything's been going so well for me. I was always like a starter on a team, playing super well, and I expected that. I had high expectations for myself, and it was my junior year. I was like, whoa, I'm not even starting yet. I'm not even getting playing time, and then all of a sudden my injury, and I'm like, oh wow, am I ever going to be able to recover from this? I've never had this big of an injury. This is quite worrisome. And it was all just, it came down to my mental ability to handle it, just to deal with the stress and be diligent when it comes to like really getting my body back to 100%. And so yeah, in answer to your question, there were some times when I really was contemplating my next step, whether it be on this team or not being on this team, yeah.
Did you ever have any role models or anyone that you admired, whether it be a player, a coach, any individual that maybe helped you during this time, or even just through this whole process of this past 5 years?
Very good question. Well, a big role model, and it's kind of embarrassing because he's the same year as me. But if you do recall, a couple years back, there was a MPSF Player of the Year, Taylor Sander. He went to BYU. He was on or actually, his parents luckily asked me to play 1 year on his club team when I was in high school, and man, just watching that guy for 1 year taught me so much about volleyball. It was incredible. one of the best players I've ever seen, but he just inspired me to push the game. He was just so fun to watch, and I learned everything from his swing motion to how he jumped, and obviously I'm nowhere near any of that. But yeah, he taught me a lot there. And then the other two players were definitely my freshman year with Jonas, and actually three, Jonas, Josh, and Nate's. Those guys really, like, I don't know, they kind of like were father figures in the sense we're not father figures because they're closer in age with me, but they really took me under their wing, showed me the ropes, and showed me how to be a leader. You know, they really pushed themselves further than I understood I could push myself. They taught me a lot, and you know, all those guys are great players. They really inspired me to take it to the next level.
Do you think that you've maybe changed as a person? We know that you've changed as a player, but do you think that you've changed in just your overall demeanor or just your personality from when you started to where you're at right now?
Absolutely, hands down.
How so?
Well, two big ways. I think it's just maturity. Obviously, that comes with age a lot, but it's just being more aware of myself and others, understanding situations better because, you know, I was so wrapped up in my own world. And not to say that I didn't understand how things were going, but it's just like I was a little more focused on me and not the team. And it wasn't that I was extremely selfish or anything. It's just like I understand that, you know, my demeanor on the court affects everyone on the team. So if I make an error, it's up to me to be, you know, hard-headed and, or I guess not hard-headed, but like strong enough to, you know, really fight back and just show a positive face and move on to the next point. I guess that was probably my biggest issue, was just like being very hard on myself when I was younger. And I learned that, like, yeah, you learn from your mistakes. You know, it's a good learning opportunity, and you know, it helps the team if you just are with it the whole time. And obviously, maturity-wise, yeah, it just helped me to, you know, it's the day-to-day grind. It's not what goes on during the game. It's like, you know, you got to wake up early and you got to work out every day. You got to eat right. You got to sleep right. It's managing your time, and those things I had no clue when I was 17 years old how to manage my time. So that was, yeah, that was the biggest thing I learned for sure.
Take us back to the first night against USC. Set 3,
Yeah.
You get the call. Obviously, Hendrick was a starter in that position.
Right.
You get the call. Did you put any pressure on yourself thinking like, okay, this is my shot, this is my opportunity? Or did you just kind of, take us through what you thought when he said?
It's going to be funny to actually hear my perspective because was not expecting it in the slightest. It was actually after game 2, right? We're down, I think we're down 0-2. We lost the first 2 sets. So, I mean, obviously, the mood on the team wasn't that good at the time. And honestly, I was on the bench, like, I felt sick. Or, I mean, I was in the locker room. I felt sick. Did not expect to get the call, like, Hartley, you're going in. Did not expect that. We're talking, like, strategic. Like, what are we going to do next set? You know, everyone's like, yeah, are we really going to do this? Like, we're kind of, like, on the fence about it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, no, like, I really don't feel good. Like, I hope he doesn't put me in maybe for blocking something because I'm not feeling quick right now or whatever. I was, like, so I wasn't even thinking about him putting me in. All of a sudden, he's like, Hartley, you're in. And I'm like, oh, what? Like, I'm shocked. I'm like, okay, I just go from like mentally like almost checking out. I felt sick, my body's aching, I felt terrible. And he's like, you're in. I'm like, okay, I got to flip the switch. You know, I wasn't even like, this is my opportunity, but I was like, let me help the team more or less. Because like, I don't want to be that guy that just goes out there and like shanks a couple passes, gets taken out of the game. That's not helping anyone. It wasn't more or less like, oh, this is my opportunity to showcase myself. It wasn't like that. It was just like, okay, let's just help the team pass well so the middles can hit and hopefully everything else falls into place. And from all of a sudden, like, it's just, once you step on the court, adrenaline, for me at least, takes over everything. I am very, very, very competitive, and it's probably a problem at times. But when I get in the game, I cannot lose. It's very frustrating. That's why the second night USC still eats me up today. But the passion I gain from this competitive drive fuels me. That's my adrenaline. And so once adrenaline kicked in, I did not feel sick. I felt great. Obviously, I was a little shaky at first, a couple passes, maybe a couple errors, but like, you know, it takes the game to like bring the best out of me, and that's like me with any sport. It takes me a little bit of time to warm up, and so that was, yeah, that changed everything, and then I just got in a groove and have been confident ever since, and yeah.
You know, we saw your parents in the stands during the second night, and your mom at times looked
stressed
out, nervous.
Yeah.
But what was it like?
That's hilarious.
Knowing that they were finally being able to see you play here in the arena,
Yeah.
in this environment. What was that like?
You know, honestly, believe it or not, there's so many people here, there's so many friends and family everywhere, but just those two, like, and they're not hard on me at all. They're the nicest, sweetest parents you could ever ask for. But like, I just want to make them proud. And obviously they're proud just me being on the team. Like they don't care. But honestly, like my biggest pressure is to like make them proud somehow. And so it's so nice. Like if I hit a ball out, I'm just like, I'm thinking about them. Like sadly, I'm not thinking as much for the team. Like obviously that's a huge component of it. But it always boils down to like, oh no, my parents, obviously when you see my mom stressed or I see my mom stressed, it's not like at the game, she's just competitive herself. And that's all it is. Obviously it's not that big a deal. My dad, he's very nice about it, so I never get flack or anything. But they're my first thought, you know, every time. And so it's funny, like I saw them on like the film after the game, they're like stressed, but that's been at least her for my entire athletic career, you know. But yeah, it's nice. It's so nice to make them finally, like they moved out here, they live here. It's so nice for them to finally see me play in person instead of like through a TV at home. And yeah, it's awesome. It feels great now. They're so happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment. So we have to ask you this question because it's been brought up already during the broadcast.
Okay.
Abercrombie Fitch.
Oh.
What were you?
Buddy.
Model, like just if you can elaborate on that because
yes.
it was brought up in the broadcast.
Let's clear the dust, huh? let's get down to the bottom of it. No, it was like 2 years. All right, I started like initially my girlfriend got me into the store because like she wanted me to work there and it's easy money and like it worked out. So initially I was just like greeting at the door, and then I got this opportunity to go over to Gilly Hicks, which is I guess is a sister company of Abercrombie and Fitch, and you stand on the side shirtless and you just like say like taglines. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? You know. And you just take pictures with all the tourists, and like you just stand there with your shirt off and flex, and it's hilarious. It's the easiest job. Sometimes you get paid more than managers. Like if it's holiday time, you get like $100 a day plus 20 bucks an hour. It's a great gig, trust me. And then there was a couple pictures that I took that was like for like the regional. I guess it was just for the store. Like I have to put on an outfit, and it's like this regional thing that like I barely got any money out of it, but it's just a 1 or 2 time thing. But you know, it's just weird. It's different for everyone to hear. It's not like, you know, what are you doing this on the side of volleyball? It's just weird. So I got a lot of flack, if you will. And that was like that was like two years ago. So like it's funny that it still gets brought up now, but it's part of my past, I guess. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
All right. So last question: is there something that people don't know about you that they would be maybe surprised to know? I didn't know about that, or is there this hidden talent, anything that you enjoy?
I wish
something that people
wish I prepared for this one. Yeah, let's see, hidden talent.
Or just anything that they'd be surprised to know, something that's unique about Scott Hartley.
Ooh, man, unique. I don't have too many things. Like if you know, sometimes you get asked this in class, like 2 truths and a lie, because like people trying to introduce yourself or something. The only thing I would ever say like unique is like, okay, I'm like first generation American in my family. Like my entire family's from Canada, and my grandparents are from England. So like I got me and my sister the first and only people to be born in my family in the States. And but I mean that's not that unique. That's pretty normal for people. And then I got this. I'm colorblind, but it's not that big a deal. I like wear ridiculous outfits sometimes without realizing it. I wear like purple socks, purple shirts, and I get, you know, people rag on me for those things. And yeah, lastly, I guess, I don't know, I just, like, baseball is my favorite sport. It's always been. I was thinking about playing baseball for college. I would love to pitch. I'd love to hit left-handed. And yeah, people don't know that about me. They think I'm just volleyball all the way, but really, I should have been playing baseball right now.
Cool. Those are good. So you can't see. What colors can you see?
Oh, this is funny. Yeah, it's funny. Usually, the first questions people ask, like, "Oh, so what's your shirt? Like, what's that over there?" You know,
like, is this green?
Every single thing. Yeah, I mean, now that you told me it's green, and I know I can assume. You know, it's like, okay, we're in Hawaii. Like, our colors are green and black and white. Like, okay, that must be green. But yeah, so I just get confused. Red, green, and brown, terrible. Red, green, and brown. I don't. Sometimes it's like specific. Like, oh, that's hot red or something. Like, I can deal with that. And oh, it's a stop sign. That's red. But
that's
like,
important.
Yeah, but blue and purple, and then yellow and light green, no shot. Wow. Blue and purple, no idea. So
that's good. Okay, right on. I think we're good.
Alrighty.